Okay. It's a few minutes before we get started, but I'm just getting things set up. I think that'll work. Yeah, okay. Oh, I am so excited. First time. Oh. Okay, I want to turn that off. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. It would really help to sit on my chair right. There's a little glare. Let's see if I can fix that. Just to here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we still got 3 minutes. Yay! Boy, it's quiet. Oh. Okay. We still got about 2 minutes before we get started. So, and actually my other clock says 5 minutes, but we'll go with the 2 minutes. Bone folder. Simply scoring tool. I can't think of any other tools I'm going to need tonight. Okay. Hey, how long are you filming?
Okay.
For an hour.
He says you're okay.
Huh?
He says okay.
All right. Oh, hi, Kay. How are you? I'm so glad. It just might be you and I tonight. I'm going to get started here pretty shortly. Okay, I guess I will go ahead and get started and act like there's like 50 people or so. I guess, I don't know. Welcome to my studio. Tonight I'm going to demonstrate 2 cards in a project using the Coffee Cafe stamp set with the Coffee Cups framelits dies and the Designer Series paper. I think it's called Coffee Break. Yeah, Coffee Break. And I want to show you some of the Designer Series paper that comes in that. So there's all sorts of different designs. And I got pieces and cutouts and that sort of thing. But this has been one of my favorite suites to work in. And I have my coffee with me. It's right here. I'm going to go ahead and set it behind me because knowing me, I will probably dump it sometime during this video. So, let's get started. A couple housekeeping things. This is actually a workshop, so I'm going to include what's going on with Stampin' Up! For those of you that don't know what Stampin' Up! is we are a company that specializes in stamps, in ink, paper, anything that works with scrapbooking, card making, paper crafting, that sort of thing. I found Stampin' Up! Through a friend, and then because I was hunting for supplies that I could use in my scrapbooks because I have a daughter, and so but I wanted quality stamp stuff, you know. I wanted something that will hold up throughout the years, so which led me to Stampin' Up! So a couple things that's going on right now is we got bonus days going on, and this is for every $50 you spend in July, you get a $5 coupon via your email to use in August. So there's no limit on how many coupons you can earn, and it doesn't have to be all on one order. So if you placed an order earlier in July and then need to place another order tonight or later, you'll still get those coupons. So that's kind of a neat thing that's going on. Also, I want to talk about becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I am growing my team. I've kind of put a lot of thought into this, and I really want to grow a team and be a part of this amazing journey. Just real quick, it is you order $125 worth of product for $99, and then you will get your catalogs will be in there, and there's a business pack that will be in there. But also in the month of July, they are going to give you a free essentials pack. And included in that pack is the brand new Carols of Christmas stamp set. This is what that stamp set looks like. This is so pretty. I like this stamp set. I've used it once. Just used it once. So, and it is photopolymer. And it says you're going to get 2 D blocks. The D blocks are this size. So you'll be able to use this with this stamp set. Okay? Then you're going to get grid paper. That is what is underneath me. It helps keep your table or whatever you're stamping on clean. I believe there's 100 in a pack. I'm not sure. But you'll get a stack of this. Then you're going to get paper snips, which are little scissors, snail adhesive, and a bone folder. So that comes with the essentials pack, which is just really got some basics just to help you get started. September 1st, our holiday catalog goes live, and that's something else about being a demonstrator. You get to look at the catalogs early before they're released to the public. So I like that idea. Okay, housekeeping procedures done. Okay, so let's get started with this. All right, like I said, we're going to be working with Coffee Cafe and the Coffee Cups framelits die. And the first, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do this card. And let me get out. Okay, here's my stamp set. I have everything in little packets, so I gotta find the right packet to work with. Let's see. Oh, there it is. That's it. That's it right there. Okay. Okay. My cards are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I include envelopes with them, but that's okay. Let me get out my measurements here to make sure. Okay, here we go. Try and be organized and still fumbling around. So here is our card base. Like I said, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to be using this side of the DSP paper. This measures 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. It's going to sit right about there. This Early Espresso with all the coffee pots and the coffee cups on them. This measures, just a second, 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. So it's going to sit like that. This is Early Espresso. It is 3/4 inch by 5 1/4. And then we're going to use a 2-inch circle punch for the stamp set. So I will also need a scrap of Whisper White. Let's see if that'll work. Nope, need something a little bigger. I grab a scrap and it's not big enough. That'll work. Okay. So, and then I have a piece. This measures about 10 inches, I believe. 9 1/2, 10 inches of Whisper White 1/8 inch sheer ribbon. And it comes on a spool like this. And that is for our little bow. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and make the bow, because making bows is a little bit of a challenge, but I get my bow out of the way and then I don't have to spend time later messing with it. There. That was easier than I thought. Okay, there's our bow. Now I'm going to go ahead, take my paper snips. Paper snips are extremely sharp, and so I leave the cover on mine because I'm always afraid that I'm going to cut myself. So I'm going to set my bow aside. It's done. Now let's go ahead and put the card together. And I found out the easiest way, because you have to sneak in that little piece underneath, is to go ahead, put down the chevron first. And I'm actually going to turn the card around just because it just works for me better. And I'm leaving about 1/4 inch space between the edge of the card and the chevron. I'm going to go ahead and put that down. And I'm going to turn it back around. Then I'm going to go ahead and attach this other piece, but I'm not going to seal this part down because it's hard for me to judge about. I'm going to keep I'm going to match up the bottoms. Oopsie. See, I got a little close. Okay. Then I'm going to tuck this piece right under here. And then you can kind of gauge on how much you want showing. If you don't want a lot showing, there. Just like that. And the glue on the back of this will help it keep it secure. Okay. Now I'm going to take my scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I am using Early Espresso ink. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that on. Okay. I may have not given it enough room. I don't think I did. Nope, I sure didn't. I have to do it again. for my 2-inch circle punch, I've got to have a little room for the circle. There we go. That's better. Then we're going to go ahead and center that. Cut it out. Now I'm going to take a sponge and I'm just going to sponge the edges. Okay. Then add a dimensional on the back. Kind of fasten it to the middle like that. And then to attach ribbon, I have what is called glue dots. And you take a glue dot, and I'm just going to take my thumbnail and I'm going to just push it a little bit to see if I can get it to roll. And then I can take that roll and stick it to the back of my ribbon, like so. And then attach it to the front of the card. Okay, there's our first card. Any questions, Kay? I'm so glad you're here. It makes this more fun. Okay, I'm going to set this aside and we'll go on to the second card. Now this one is a little bit more involved. We're actually going to go ahead and get out the Big Shot for this. I'll put this back, don't need it. Kind of clean up my workspace just a little bit. Okay. Happiness is coffee with a friend. We are going to take this whole saying is off of one stamp. And I'm going to show you how to color each word and how to use one big stamp. This is the stamp we'll be using, but we're going to use individual words off of it. So I want to show you how to do that. Thank you, Kay. Okay. Get out my Pear Pizzazz marker. There we go. That's it. Okay. Second card. This card actually, the idea behind it is in our annual catalog. It is, it was actually on a bag or a gift of some kind. So instead of turning it into basically the same thing, I turned that into a card instead. And so I'll just show you if I can find it. If I can't find it, that's okay. There it is. There we go. It's actually taken off of this right here in the annual catalog, but instead of putting it on a bag, I just decided to put it on a card and just do a little different. So, and I had to do one of the things I absolutely dislike doing, and that's fussy cutting. I am terrible at fussy cutting, to the point that I went ahead and fussy cutted, if that's a word, okay, went ahead and cut out the pots and the cups, so you didn't have to watch this torturous cycle during the video. So, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this out. That over there. Okay. Yeah. Get my instructions out so I can see. Okay. So I used kindergarten. We must have been in the same class. I did too. I despise fussy cutting. Okay, so my card base is soft suede. Again, it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I am using the wood grain piece, actually from the first card where we had the pots and the coffee cups. We're just going to flip that over and we're going to use what's on the back, and it's a wood grain, kind of a dark wood grain. And this measures 4 inches by 5 inches, and I'm just going to go ahead and attach that to my card, because then we will build on top of it. Okay. Excuse me. I need coffee. Hold on. Okay. This is actually kind of fun. Okay. That piece will come later. Okay, now I have a piece here that we're going to die cut. I'm going to get out the Big Shot. This label piece is actually the second largest label in the set. And that's the one you want to use because it fits perfectly, or close to perfectly, on the card. So I'm going to clear a space because the Big Shot will take some room up. I'm going to set that off to the side for right now. Okay. I got it. There it is. Okay. All right. I'm going to stand up and do this. Hi, Denise. Welcome. How are you this evening? Okay. One of the things that I had a very, very hard time getting used to was the magnetic platform. I was so used to the base that the original, when I originally bought the Big Shot, it had just the base with it, and I was so used to it that getting the magnetic platform, I was having a hard time, you know, is it worth the money? Oh my goodness, it is a lifesaver. The reason I say that is because you can put your cardstock down and listen. That die is not going anywhere. It is there. And I love it. I use it. If I don't have to use my other one, I don't. I love my magnetic platform. So, okay, we're going to run this through. I'm going to try and not wiggle the table too much. I don't want to make anybody sick. Motion sickness. Okay. Okay, so there is our piece, our label. Like I said, it's the second largest label in the label die set. So we'll work with that. Okay, now let's play with this stamp. I'm going to bring my card back in so I kind of have an idea. And something else I suggest that you have with you is some kind of cleaning cloth to clean off your stamps. I make my own. I use water, paper towels, and maybe 5 drops or so of lavender. And they smell really good. They just do. Okay, so, because we're going to be, so I'm going to set that off to the side. But yeah, you're going to need a little bit of baby wipes, something to wipe off your stamp with is what I'm getting at here. Okay, first thing we need to do is cut your label in half. So just figure out where your halfway point is. And you're going to cut it in half. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my pair of Pizzazz markers, and I want to show you a trick because another demo showed me this, and I've had these for years, and it just dawned on me what the little lines mean. If it's the thin line, it's the fine tip. If it's the thicker line, it's the bigger tip. I never knew that. Never did, but that's what the little lines mean on your markers. So the first thing I'm going to do is color happiness, and I'm just going to do happiness only. And just go across my, like that. Now, if you're unsure, that to make sure you're not going to get on that second line, you can take a sticky note and stick it right there, so you know for sure that all you're going to get is the one word. But I think it's spaced out enough. I didn't have any problems doing this. And besides, if it's stamped below, it's going to get hidden anyway. So I'm going to bring this down towards me so I know I can stamp on top of it. So we're going to put happiness is going to go to the top. Now I'll move it back up so you can see. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to take my towel. I'm just going to clean off the stamp. Like that. Okay, just to make sure. Now I'm going to stamp on my scratch piece of paper. I want to stamp coffee, which is the Early Espresso pad. And I'm going to try and do this without. But I think it's really neat that you can pick out just words if you have the markers and just color each individual word. Okay. There's coffee. Okay. Happiness. Now I'm going to get my little paper towel again. I'm going to clean the word coffee off. Now, with a friend is also going to be in Pear Pizzazz. But it's going to be stamped. We're going to flip that over and we're going to stamp it on the lower section of the label. This is such a light color, it's really kind of hard to see if I'm getting all the word or not. And if you don't get all the word, you just flip it over and do it again. Okay, so I'm going to place friend kind of down here with a friend. Just like that. Now see where it's stamped up here coffee? I'm not going to worry about that because it's going to get hidden underneath the layers anyway. Now we have one more word to do. This is Pear Pizzazz. Just a scrap piece of Pear Pizzazz. And I'm going to color the word is. And I want to say the phrase is monochromatic or something when you put the same color on top. You think it would blend in, but this does not. I think I just goofed it. Yeah, I did. Try again. Okay, try again. Ah, there we go. You can kind of see it. It's there. Okay, so that is how you can pick your words out if you have markers and you just color over whatever word you want, and then you can do different colors and stamp them on different cardstock and that sort of thing. Now for the word is, I don't think Stampin' Up! Has this, but I'm using a 1/2 inch circle punch to stamp out the word is, just like that. I'm going to set that to the side so I have my is. And the word coffee, I just cut out using my oh good grief, this cutting thing, paper cutter. And all I want to do is just make sure it's just even. I really don't have any measurements on it, just you want it small. It's got to fit. I think I'll cut it a little bit smaller. Kind of want it as small as you can get it, or as close as you can get it. Still looks a little big. I suppose I could have used my, there we go, my layering squares, but I didn't want to get out another thing to die cut. Okay, so here's our pieces. Now I'm going to take the, bring out back in the card base, the coffee pots, and that, and yeah, that's right. I want to attach the labels first to our, so I'm going to run a strip of adhesive right along there, and then I can gauge where this is going to fall at. So it's going to go like this, and then with a friend, I'm going to run a strip of adhesive on the top and do the same thing. Actually, it's easier if I do it this way. With a friend. Okay. So we have that part. I'm going to set the card off to the side because I think I'll build it first. Okay, everything else is with dimensionals. Let's go ahead and attach it to the card. That way, we can put our dimensionals on. So there's our card. And I already made an oopsie. My labels are a little bit longer than the card is. They kind of stick out up here. That's okay. I know better next time to scoot them in just a hair. Never thought of that when I placed it. Okay, so we have happiness with a friend. Okay, now the rest of it is just dimensional. So the word is, I'm going to cut that in half. When you need a smaller dimensional, cut it in half. Just helps like that. And I'm going to attach it to the top of the Early Espresso cardstock. Like so. Just cut them in half, okay? And now I'm just going to go ahead and take the other half of the dimensional and I'll stick it there. And just put it another dimensional and put that towards the top. It could have been just a little bit smaller. Nope, I'm not going to worry about it right now. See, I'm kind of a perfectionist. Kind of. Okay. And then, last but not least, you can now, well, I should have cut my square smaller. Now you can see the pots don't want to fit. Oh yeah, they will. And you can also put dimensionals on these as well. Let's see if I can find another. Okay. I think the hardest part about this whole card is actually getting the backing off the dimensionals. Some days they come right off. Other days I struggle with them and want to throw them across the room. There's our coffee cup. Isn't that cute? And then there's our other coffee pot. So there is our second card. We're going to do our first one. There we go. Different coffee pots, but that's okay. That comes from, I'll show you that designer series paper. And the designer series paper is 12 by 12, which I love because then I have a lot more space to work on. But there's that sheet of designer series paper that has all the coffee pots. And then on the back of it, we have coffee beans. So, but I love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, I'm going to set these. Okay, Denise, have a good night. Come back if you can. Okay, now for the 3D project. Okay. And I am so glad my mother is not watching because I had to go over to her house when she wasn't home and steal 2 K-Cups from her Keurig. I don't have a Keurig. We have a regular coffee pot. But this little holder is a perfect gift that the Keurigs, the little K-Cups, they just fit inside. Like so. Be just a really, really cute gift. So, with that being said, I'm going to make a little space here and get out the next 3. I think that's it that I use stamp-wise. Yeah. Okay. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and get our little box made. I've got several pieces here. We will be using the Big Shot again. I'm going to set those pieces aside. And there's my linen thread. Kind of get a little bit organized here. Don't know if that, no, it might be. Okay. Okay. You're going to need your Simply Scoring tool, Simply Scored scoring tool to do this. Like that. Okay. This piece measures 4 inches by 10 1/4 inches. Okay. And you're going to want to lay it in landscape mode. All right. And then you're going to want a stylus or a bone folder. My stylus disappeared someplace, so I'm going to be using my bone folder. Oh dear. And we're going to score at the following increments. Now your Simply Scored scoring tool, I think is measured in 1/8. So, and there's a trick to counting 1/8, I guess. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to score at 1 1/2. We will score at 2 1/8, and the 1/8 is the smallest mark on your scoring tool. Then we're going to score at 3 7/8. Now 7/8 to me, I don't like measurements, but you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's the smallest mark. That's 7/8. You're going to want to score, the next one is 6 3/8. 8 1/8. And 8 3/4. Which I believe is right. That does not look right. Oh, 8 3/4. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. Yeah. I think that looks right. Okay. So put our scoring tool away. Now, you're going to start on one end, doesn't matter which end. You're going to do a valley fold. So, which means you're going to make the fold look like a valley. And you're going to want to crease these with your bone folder. So, see how it looks like a valley? Now, the other folds are going to be mountain folds. So, you have your valley and your mountain. And here's your second mountain, third mountain, and then your last fold is going to be a valley fold. Does that kind of make sense? So you have your valley, mountain, 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 and valley. And I want to crease those down with my bone folder. missed a fold. Here it is. Okay. So when you flip it over, everything comes together like that. Okay. Now, a couple things you can do right now before we decorate it is you can actually put adhesive here if you didn't want to tie it and have it stay together. And you can put adhesive on the bottom of your K-cups to keep them from sliding around too. So they would fit in here with your adhesive, and then you can apply adhesive here if you were giving it to someone. I didn't put adhesive there, but you can. It's an option if you wanted to. So now we have our cute little box. All right. Let me see. Okay. All right. My designer series paper, and I'm talking this piece and this piece, these two pieces, you're going to need 4 of them. 2 pieces are going to measure 3 7/8 by 1 1/4, and the other 2 pieces are a little bigger. They're going to measure 3 7/8 by 1 1/2. So what I like to do is go ahead and lay this out flat, and there we go. Yeah, that's right. Sometimes it's always better to remeasure or put your pieces in place before you attach them in place. Then you can make sure you're right. Then I'm going to take the bigger one, attach it to here. Now I'm going to flip this over, attach the small piece to the top, or to our handle, I guess. Like that. And then the bigger. And you can decorate the bottom if you want. I didn't. But you can choose to. Like that. Okay. Alright, there's our box. Now let's set the little box aside. And let's go ahead and get our stamping. Okay, and the stamp set. I am using the largest cup. I have the lid, the to-go lid. The sentiment I'm using is Thanks a Latte. And I believe, make sure that's all of it. Oh, we're also going to cut out the little sleeve that goes up the cup to keep from burning your hands. We're going to make that too. We're going to do that on the Big Shot. But let's go ahead and get our stamping done. I'm going back to Early Espresso. Seems to be the color of choice tonight. And I'm going to leave a little gap for Thanks a Latte. Ooh. Okay, start over. Let's see how that worked out. I may have to clean my stamp off again. I actually see something on it. Got it. It's amazing that this will pick up the tiniest. That's what it was. It was a hair. Make sure my... There we go. A lot better. Wow. Okay. Then I'm going to stamp my lid. Like so. And then for my other one, now it's time for the big cup. And I'm going to stamp it in Early Espresso. Okay, like so. Okay, now we got our thing stamped. Close up my ink pad, set that aside. Kind of get things out of the way here. And I should have 1, 2, make sure I have all my dies here. Okay, and for my sleeve, I'm going to go ahead and match up the designer series paper so it all just falls together. And Okay, so I get all that together. Now I have to move it because I forgot. Gotta put the Big Shot up here. I actually have a separate table that this sets on, which is really nice, so I don't have to get it out and put it away, and get it out and put it away, and get it out and put it away. So, we're going to do the magnetic platform again. We're going to do one cutting pad, and then I'm going to leave a little space. I'm going to go ahead and place all my dies. This might, I may only have to do, we'll see how this works. The less I have to cut, the better. Okay, that. I'm going to scoot it up a little bit. My little oval for Thanks a Latte. And this is something weird it does do. Sometimes it likes to go off on itself. So we're just going to do those two. And then I'll recut the next one. So put that on there. Run it through gently. Okay. I'm going to take those pieces out. There's the lid, there's the cup. Now we're going to go back in and we'll do the oval and the Thanks a Latte. And then we will do, there we go. Okay, there's the Thanks a Latte. And then, last piece of the night, with my 6x6 piece, just cut out okay. That on the floor, and all right, there's our sleeve. Okay, so we're going to need these pieces. Boy, if I can get a hold of them, good grief. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and attach my sleeve onto my cup. Gauge how far up it needs to go. Okay, flip that over. I'm gonna go ahead and put a dimensional. I think I'm gonna add my, oopsie, lid first. Yeah, that'll work. Just to the top of the cup. It's a little bit too, there we go. Now I added, there's a little glue sticking here, which is going to be great because I'm going to take my linen thread and go around it a couple times. And try and tie a knot. This is the other thing I am not very good at. It's tying bows. I already think I'm just going to do a knot tonight, I think. Okay, there we go. I think one end is way shorter than the other one, but that's okay. We'll just do a knot like that. We'll have little ends. Okay. You can do, I did a bow on this one. You can do a knot. This one actually looks a little bit better. Clip that off too. Then you take your dimensional. and put the Thanks a Latte on, like that. And then, I'm not going to close it up yet because it's easier to attach the cup. But I'm just going to run a piece of adhesive, maybe a couple of them that overlap. I'm going to attach it to there. It's a lot easier if your box is not folded and attached when you attach the cup onto it. Okay, fold it together. Now for my hole at the top, I used a Crop-A-Dile. This is another thing that Stampin' Up! Does not have. They used to, but they don't anymore. But I like it because I can punch some pretty good size holes. Okay, like that. And then take a piece of my sheer ribbon. See? Pulled one through, didn't pull the second one through. Grab them both, pull it through. You can pull it through like that. Then clip them off. And there's your little box. Let's see what the K-Cups look like. And then your K-Cups just fit right inside. I do think if you were going to give it to somebody, I would attach or tie the top together. Something like that, so it will stay together. But that's really cute too. That's really, really cute too. So, okay, well that concludes tonight's workshop. I am going to, since I'm putting this in as a workshop, I do have some options to order if you're interested in ordering. Option 1 is you order $50 or more in product. You will receive 2 make and take projects, which means you'll get 2, you'll get supplies to make 2 of each of these. $75 or more, you will get the same. You'll get 2 make and take projects, plus you're going to get 6x6. You'll get 6x6. Good grief, too many sixes. 6x6 sheets of the Coffee Break Designer Series paper. And then if you just want to purchase the supplies to make the product, now this does not include the ink, the stamps, or the adhesive. But if you wanted to purchase the project and enough to make 2 of them, it's $19.95. All of my details are over on my website at onawhimstampers.com. And use the hostess code. I will close this out on Friday at midnight and then place the order August 1st. And then as soon as it's here, I will cut and package and ship everything ASAP. And it usually takes about 2 weeks. So a week for it to get from Stampin' Up! To me, and then from me to you. So anyway, all the details are over on my website. And I will post this video over on my website as well. It'll take me probably about an hour to do that by the time I get it uploaded. But anyway, thank you so much, Kay, for attending. You should get a special prize. I'll have to think about that just for attending tonight. So, but anyway, oh, that was good. About 45 minutes. I figured an hour. So, I'm going to check comments real quick. You're very welcome, Kate. It was fun. It was really fun to put together. Really fun to put together. And I'll have to do this again. I'll do this again. So, alrighty. So everybody have a good night, and thanks for joining me. Bye.